Hey everyone! Today I will be doing an introduction for all the different drivers in Formula One. If you haven't already, go and watch my introduction to F1 teams. I'll put a link in the description. Of course, we're going to start in 10th place with Williams F1. The first driver we have for Williams is Robert Kubica. Robert Kubica finished 19th in the standings with 1 point. His best race was Germany. He is also retiring this year from Formula One. The Polish driver has one win in his career, in 2008 Canada. He finished 4th in the standings that year, a career high. But in 2011, he suffered a huge rally accident where his car was impaled by a metal beam on the side of a cliff. The next driver we have for Williams is George Russell. The British racing driver finished 20th in the standings, with his best race being 11th in Germany. George Russell was the F2 champion of 2018, and many people see him as a future world champion. The final driver for Williams is the Canadian Nicholas Latifi, who's the only rookie of the 2020 season. Nicholas Latifi finished second in the 2019 Formula 2 Championship, where he won 4 races. Moving on to 9th place, we have Haas F1. The first driver we have for Haas F1 is the French driver Romain Grosjean, who finished 18th in the standings, with his best race being Germany, where he finished 7th. A lot of people may say that Romain Grosjean is out of his prime, because he has gotten 10 podiums in his career, and the second driver for Haas we have is Kevin Magnussen. The Danish driver finished 16th in the standings, with his best race being a 6th in Australia. Kevin Magnussen has 1 podium over his career, and that was in 2014 Australia. Up to 8th place, now we have Alfa Romeo Racing. The first driver for Alfa Romeo is Antonio Giovinazzi, who finished 17th in the standings, with his best race being a 5th in Brazil. The Italian completed his first full season in Formula One this year, as in 2017 he stepped in when Pascal Wehrlein was out. Here we have the first world champion on this list, Kimi Raikkonen, who finished 12th in the championship, with his best race being a 4th in Brazil. Kimi Raikkonen won the 2007 World Championship with Ferrari by 1 point. Kimi Raikkonen then left Formula One in 2010 and 2011, but rejoined in 2012 with Lotus to finish 3rd in the championship. The Finnish driver broke the record of longest gap between victories with Ferrari of 2013 Australia to 2018 US. The next team I have is Racing Point. Lance Stroll is the first driver I have for Racing Point. The Canadian finished 15th in the standings, with his best race being a 4th in Germany. Lance Stroll only has 1 podium to his name as he joined the sport in 2017. It was a surprise podium, a 3rd place in Azerbaijan. Lance Stroll's father, Lawrence Stroll, is a billionaire who bought Racing Point when it was under administration. The next driver I have for Racing Point is Sergio Perez. The Mexican finished 10th in the standings this year, with his best race being a tie for 6th between Belgium and Baku. Sergio Perez has 8 podiums to his name, his most recent being in Baku of 2018. Up in 6th place we have Toro Rosso or AlphaTauri. AlphaTauri's first driver is Danny Kvyat, who finished 13th in the championship, with his best race being a 3rd in Germany. Danny Kvyat drove for Red Bull in 2015 and part of 2016, until dangerous driving in the start of 2016 got him demoted to Toro Rosso, replaced by Max Verstappen. The Russian picked up a surprise 3rd place in Germany, where there were 7 DNFs. The second driver for Toro Rosso we have is Pierre Gasly. Pierre Gasly finished 7th in the championship, with his best race being a 2nd in Brazil. Pierre Gasly started the year with Red Bull, except had a ton of bad finishes, and then was demoted to Toro Rosso halfway through the season. The Frenchman finished in a great 2nd place in Brazil, where he finished less than a 10th of a second ahead of Lewis Hamilton. The last driver for Toro Rosso was Alex Albon. He was the one who replaced Pierre Gasly at Red Bull, so we'll talk about him later. Up in 5th place, we have Renault F1. The first driver we have for Renault is Nico Hülkenberg, who finished 14th in the standings, with his best race being a 5th in Italy. Nico Hülkenberg is known as a man who does not have the podium over the 10 years of his career, so the highlight of his career, many would say, was the pole position he got in 2010 Brazil. The next driver for Renault is Daniel Ricciardo, who finished 9th in the championship, with his best race being a 4th in Italy. Daniel Ricciardo accumulated 7 wins with Red Bull. Most people say that his best was in Monaco of 2018, where he was stuck without 7th and 8th gear. The Aussie is known as the jokester of the Formula One drivers. The man stepping in for Nico Hülkenberg is Esteban Ocon. Esteban Ocon drove for Force India in 2017 and 2018 and accumulated a lot of problems with Sergio Perez. A lot of people say that the highlight of the French driver's career so far has been when he qualified third in Belgium of 2018. Up next, we have McLaren in fourth place. Lando Norris is the first driver for McLaren. The British driver finished 11th in the standings, with his best race being a tie of Bahrain and Austria, where he both finished 6th. Lando Norris raced in F2 last year alongside George Russell, and he finished second place on the Carlin team. The next driver for McLaren is the Spaniard Carlos Sainz, who finished 6th in the championship, with his best race being a third in Brazil. Carlos Sainz inherited third place in Brazil after Lewis Hamilton received a 5-second penalty. Moving into third place, we have Red Bull Racing. The first driver for Red Bull that I'll be talking about is the Thai driver Alex Albon, who finished 8th in the championship, his best race being a 4th in Japan. Alex Albon also raced in F2 with Lando Norris and George Russell, but finished 3rd in the championship. Alex Albon experienced heartbreak in Brazil when he was about to bring Red Bull its first 1-2 in 3 years. He was about to finish 2nd until he was hit by Lewis Hamilton. The next driver for Red Bull is Max Verstappen. Max finished 3rd in the championship this year, with a tie of his best race between Austria and Germany. Max Verstappen has set many records. In 2015, he set the youngest driver to score a point record at 17 and a half. When promoted in 2016, Max Verstappen won his first race, setting the record for youngest race winner at 18 years and 226 days. This year, Max Verstappen won 3 races: Germany, Austria, and Brazil. Up into second place, we have Scuderia Ferrari. The first driver we have for Ferrari is Sebastian Vettel, who finished 5th in the championship, with his best race being Singapore. Vettel won the 2008 Italian Grand Prix in the Toro Rosso, then setting the record for the youngest race winner until the baby named Max Verstappen came along. The German won 4 world championships with Red Bull from 2010 to 2013, with his closest being in 2012, where he won it by 3 points. Vettel was amid some controversy this year, as when he left the track and rejoined dangerously in Canada, he was awarded a 5-second time penalty for forcing another driver off the track, which ultimately took away his win in Canada. Vettel only accumulated 1 official win this year, a win in Singapore, where it really helped him to pit early against teammate Charles Leclerc. The next driver for Ferrari is Charles Leclerc, who finished 4th in the championship, with his best race being a tie between Belgium and Italy. Charles Leclerc won in Belgium, where he was mourning the death of his friend Antoine Hubert, who died that weekend in the same track. The Monegasque also won the Italian Grand Prix in front of the Ferrari home fans. And now we have the world champions Mercedes. The first driver I have for Mercedes is Valtteri Bottas, who finished 2nd in the championship, with his best race being Australia. Australia was one of his wins, along with Azerbaijan, Japan, and the United States. The Finnish driver also did 4 years with Williams before he was promoted to Mercedes in 2017. And of course now, the world champion Lewis Hamilton, of course finished 1st in the championship, with his best racing being a tie between Spain, Great Britain, Russia, and Abu Dhabi. Lewis Hamilton's first world championship was in 2008 with McLaren. Lewis Hamilton won every world championship between 2014 and 2019, except for in 2016, where an intense rivalry with Nico Rosberg ended with Nico Rosberg coming out on top. Thanks for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe for more Formula One videos.